mortgage payment vacations from TD. Just another way we're making banking more comfortable. We're making banking more comfortable. We're making banking more comfortable.
You gotta love that I unmuted and I get into a sound loop from the commercial. Alright everyone, this is Prototype. I'm taking a short, welcome distracting break from playing that previous Outlast soiree, if you will. I think it was an hour and a half broadcast. Just do it a short broadcast because I want to throw some variety in it. So I am queuing up the Kerbal space program, and I don't know if you can hear it or me. It's actually queued up over over the my speakers. I guess I didn't switch over fast enough. I'm going to reload this real quick. Please stand by. Steam Kerbal. Yeah, it's already running. Try it again. Kerbal Space Program. Close this little Raptor window. Kerbal. Kick. That should come up with the... There it is. The loading screen. Waiting. Just do a little refresh here on the dashboard. Lovely. Pardon me. Lycanthrope, are you actually tuned in, or just still camping my channel? I'm actually watching the chat window. I play Kerbal in a window, so there's the audio. Turn that down a little bit. I actually do play this in a window, so if you do decide to type something on browser window, spot that. This is just going to be a short stream. Really, I want to do this just to have some fun. Archive it. Kerbal Space Program is available on Steam. Let's see. You know what? I'll start from scratch. Sure, why not? To Twitch. Stream in career mode. Let's pick a flag. The hexagon. Stream, start. So if you do have any questions, by all means ask. I am still fairly new to Kerbal Space Program. This is an early access, aka a beta, in Steam. Let me just call it up here in the window. Installed games, Kerbal Space Program, store page. Close all of the windows. Okay, so it is an early access game. You can purchase it right now. It is not on sale. It does go on sale periodically. It is $23 US dollars, $22.99. And it's actually, the game is a lot of fun. It's a lot of frustration. And I'll start at the top, okay? You start off, this is the research complex. You can see that I've got the basics. These are all owned. Followed up by the only next step I can take after researching 5 science, found at the top of the screen. And I can unlock a couple more items, which, like any good tech tree in any video game, will break down further down the screen. You can see here on the left is my astronaut complex, where you can get a couple ones. I tend to grab some of them that are more courageous than stupid. Don't know if that factors in any way. Certainly haven't seen. I haven't looked into it. Alright, so we got a couple. We started with a couple. I picked up a couple. I'll go back out. This is the space plane hangar is loading. Check the feed, make sure it is actually showing now. Okay, so it is. Good. Space plane hangar. We won't be using this, not for quite some time, because this is for wheeled aircraft, level flights, and whatnot. What do we got here? The tracking station we'll get into later, the launch pad we'll get into later, and the runway we'll get into later. The vehicle assembly building is where most of the ground work gets done. You can see on the top, you've got some filters, pods, propulsion control, structural, aerodynamics, utility, science. Now, I don't have, because this is right from scratch, from career mode, I do not have a lot of selection. Okay, every spaceship requires a pod. Your person goes here. Click that, shows up in the middle of the screen automatically. Now I have, I'm going to start this. I know basically how to construct a rocket and how to launch my rocket to get into orbit around my planet Kerbal. That's where I'm at on my other save game. I can get people into orbit. If I've got enough fuel, I can get them back from orbit. I have no idea how to get to the moon, break orbit. I'm still working on designs on that. So really I'm not starting too far ahead of where my save game actually is. So I'm going to click it once, left mouse button, raise it up, because I know I'm going to actually build a rocket beneath it. So we'll give it a name. I'm going to call this first Twitch rocket. Okay, propulsion. How do you get something into space? You put a big friggin' rocket on it. Okay, you'll see I've got an engine. I've got a socket rocket booster, which has a built-in engine. You can tell by the number halfway down on the pop-up that came up, is there is actually engine power. So there's a solid fuel rocket, self-propelled. I've got the fuel tank for the liquid fuel engine rocket, which you can see is actually less powerful. Engine max power on the fourth block. But you can control the thrust on that. We'll get into that when we actually launch this first rocket. I'm going to build a simple one. Simply because I know how to earn a little bit of science before we even launch somebody into space right now. I'm going to go to control. There's nothing there. Okay, there's no control right now. Structural. I haven't really played much with the girder segments. I'm guessing this comes in when you start building stations and satellites and other nonsense like that. Don't need it. Not going to use it right now. Aerodynamic. You're going to find the fins are going to go in there. Frankly, I don't know what else. Okay, a parachute. We'll throw a parachute on there. I won't give away the secret, but it's not going to get used right now. In the science tab, I've got a communications antenna, which we will be needing. I thought about actually putting that right on the parachute, but that means it'll get ejected when I blast the parachute. Sub-assemblies, now that I've got something built, I'm guessing what I can do is I can take off the bottom section, drop it in the sub-assembly zone. Yeah, I can. So that's how that works. Don't need it, not going to bother. Make sure I've got a guy, because this is a manned control pod. So there's my selection of people I've got. Go in here, I'll put Dum Dum in. Okay, boom. Don't really need them. Go back out. action groups. I haven't quite figured out how this works. Not really concerned about it yet because I haven't gotten into anything overly complicated. Okay, let's say we want to scratch. There's the new, blanks it out, start again. Load, if I've got some saved ones, they don't show up for the other account, which you saw at the beginning of the game. Save, I can save it. There. Now, hey, look, we've got one rocket, one stage, 5 parts. And the launch pad, which, it's the launch pad. I'll get into these buttons a little later. Once I get the five science I need to unlock the next stage, I'm going to be playing with a couple more parts. Get into that at a later time. This is your stage. So the way that works is you can set. I'll explain it as we go. Actually, that makes more sense. So save, quit. Didn't want to quit. However, we can do that. So now we'll go to launch pad. Oh, hey, cool. That changed. Launched a mission. Okay. So you can pick your rocket, your pilot. Boom, launch. Okay. Starting here is where you actually get into what the game is about. Okay, we have a rocket. Hey, look, it's on the launch pad. Look at that. You pan around, click and hold the right mouse button. Scroll wheel in, scroll wheel out. Okay. The thing to bear in mind, the game items are context sensitive. Right click, hey, left click if I want to pop the parachute. Let's not do that right now. I'm going to right click off, it goes away. Fuel tank, hey, look at this, we got gas, we have oxidizer to burn it in the engine. Okay, you see we've got activate engine, don't need to do that right now. Reason why I'm not doing this right now is because if you click on the control from here, rename vessel, toggle torque, I don't know what any of this actually does right now. Crew report. Hey, look. We're on the launch pad. 100%. Scientific value, 1.5. Lovely. Go. Okay, so that's going to extend my antenna automatically, and I'll pan that. You didn't really see it in time. What it does is it's going to pop that antenna, broadcast out. You see it burned up some of my electrical charge, but I did earn science. Down on the bottom here, we got IVA. I'm guessing that's like in-vehicle adventures. Okay, skip that out, press V. If you are watching this and do decide to get the game and you accidentally hit it, remember to press V. There is no clicking that I have found inside that window. Oh. Inside, or maybe it's C. C also does it. Okay. Oh, that's why. V or C. V just changes your cameras, which I guess dumps you outside for some reason. But yes, I have not found anything in here that can let you go back. Turn to open. Nope. Turn to open. Nope. Okay, we've got a little window. We're looking around inside. You can see my little hand. Groovy. Okay. We've got our throttle controls. Okay. If I press R, that engages whatever that is. I don't remember. It's one of the controls. It helps stabilize your flight. T does the same thing. SAS, that's the other stability. One of them does. One of them controls your, when it can, within reason, controls the little bit of pitching, rolling, yawing, or not yawing, pitching and rolling, which translated is, if you think of an airplane, a pitch is nose up and down, a roll is a barrel roll. It's your wings rotating around your fuselage. A yaw is if you put a stick through an airplane, a yaw actually spins it. It's your rudder control. On the rocket, your yaw actually will rotate your rocket. Pitch and turning are the other ones. Those are all controlled by the familiar WSAD keys. Okay, you can see on the bottom left side of the screen, up and down controls my pitch, also with this bar in the middle. Left and right controls the yaw, and E and Q rotate. There's my rotation. What else is there to see in here? I don't really think there is. So, EVA, exterior vehicle, adventure, whatever. You can control him. I'm not going to move him a whole lot because he will fall. He doesn't die, not this high, but I won't be able to get back up. So you can right-click, EVA report. You can see it is worth 5.6 scientific value, but if I transmit, I'm only getting 50%. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to press F to go back inside, where I can review that, and still, it's only 50%. Transmit it. Not enough power. Okay, ran out of electricity. So what we are going to do, I wasn't actually planning on launching this airplane, or this rocket. However, I will. So I always press R and T to control my pitch, my roll, my yaw. Shift, left shift, controls the throttle. You can see it on the left hand side of the artificial horizon, in the middle, at the bottom. Okay, shift brings it up, control brings it down, X, 0. Okay, stages, great time to talk about stages. Is that actually charging? No. Okay, so stages, every time you press spacebar, you activate the next stage in sequence. In this case, it will be my rocket. Or if you have multiple rockets, you'll see it there too. However, I hover over, it lights up green in the middle of the screen. I go over that piece, it highlights in white on the left side, so I know exactly what piece controls what stage. You can see my control. Control's always 0. I don't know if that changes when you get into more advanced constructions or not. My parachute, because everybody wants to land safely and not blow up as they hit Earth at 800 meters per second. Okay, spacebar. So once I take off, we'll do a little flying around. I'm not going to get into orbit with this tiny ass rocket. Won't happen. Not going to happen. Don't ask. I don't even think it's powerful enough. We'll give it a shot. We might get into high atmosphere, do a small spin, and come back. The reason why I'm going to activate this is because the engines, let's see if I can, let's zoom out a little bit. The engine will actually give me electric charge. This will provide the power I need to finish the broadcast. I can get a little more juice, broadcast some stuff from a slightly higher atmosphere. So without further ado, like I said, I press my R, I press my T, which controls the stability. I think SAS, which is the T key, is the stability augmentation system. RCS, I think, is the roll control system. So that'll be my rotation around the top and bottom of the rocket. So I'm going to press Shift, and then we're going to go. Hey, look at that. Okay, we're up. Let's see, click on resources, throttle down, just sort of burn off that exuberant amount of gas too quickly. I mean, that happens. So we are down, and we are going to drop. Slow acceleration. You notice the speed at the middle. Notice our altitude is at the top. You notice our vertical speed indicator is on the right hand side at the top. I don't know if you can see me pointing at it with the mouse cursor. I'm hoping you can. So we are dropping. You notice our altitude is plummeting quickly. Our VSI is pointing straight down. And you notice we are accelerating in a very quick downward direction. I'm going to press space one more time, which is going to pop the next stage. parachute. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, we're not close enough for it to pop. I'm going to right click on my pod, do a quick crew report, seeing as we're on shore. Broadcast. It's doing its thing. I'm going to wait till we get really close to the bottom. Again, we went straight up. We're going to land at the space station. It happens. There's the parachute deploys. So we'll pan around. Hey, look at the space station. We've got enough time. We'll do a quick little EVA, which earns me more science. No comms on the vessel because I tried to do comms from my spacesuit. Doesn't happen. He's back inside. We'll go broadcast that. Boop, boop. And that ought to be enough to earn my 5 science points. Now I'm just going to wait till we get nice and close. I'm going to burn the last of the fuel, which is, I mean, I've got a tiny little bit left. A little bit of juice. Come on. Ooh! Bop. Just do some idling. It's not enough power. And there we go, we're out of gas. So, I could take this opportunity. Alright, I'm going to throttle up for an example. You see I'm at, what, 2/3 throttle. Hit escape. Space Center is actually orange, which means I can't do that. There's a reason for that. It'll tell you, click on it. Hey, you're throttled up. You can't save it right now because you have throttle. The last save was 5 minutes ago, which would have been, I think, just before we launched. We're going to cancel because we're not going to actually kill that flight. We can resume, which is what we're going to do, or revert flight, which will bounce us back to the launch pad, to the previous save point. We're going to resume flight because we're not actually done here. I'm going to press X to kill the throttle. I'm going to pop, who is it? Bob, right? Bob Kerbal? No, Jeb Kerman. Okay. And we're going to crawl down. Hey, look, we are simulating an EVA in a spacesuit. If I ever do get to the moon, the mun, as it's spelled, you can see that I will be moving around. Shift runs. This is sounding familiar like Outlast. Okay, space jumps, not very high. Yep, can't grab the rocket, so I'm actually stuck here now. Not that that matters because we can recover him. We're going to take a surface sample. Ooh, 9 points at 50%. We're going to keep the data because we cannot transmit from the spacesuit. EVA report. Oh, hey, we're at the Kerbal Space Center. I don't think the spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? It's worth 2.4 science. If I transmit, it's 50%, giving me a 1.5 or 1.25. We're going to keep that. And now that we're done, I'm going to hit escape, go back to the Space Center. Okay, that was the launch pad. You know, the runway, same thing for, you know, level flight takeoff aircraft. The tracking center is kind of neat because you can see EVAs. So we've got a guy. I can jump right to him. Hey, look, fly. Well, you're not really flying. You're walking because it's Jeb Kerman. Ships. Hey, look, it's the first Twitch rocket. Again, it is at KSC. Dun, dun, dun. Right there by the water. Oh, this is the planet. Welcome to the planet. Ooh, the sun. Sun does play a factor. It sucks when you do rocketry at night. Okay, we saw the planet. Hey, it's got a polar ice cap. It's probably melting too. I think that's the same. No, that's a different one. And we got a South Pole ice cap. Nobody ever talks about that one. However, back to the point, we click on first Twitch rocket, which has been active for 5 minutes, 15 seconds. I'm going to go down here to recover Okay, because it's sitting on the launch pad not doing anything. We've gathered recovery of the vessel that has survived a flight. Data gathered, value 5, adds 5 science, giving me a total of 12. Boom. Let's go see Jen Kerman. We're going to recover him too. So the stuff that I grabbed, we're going to gather 11.4 science. Boom. Okay, we don't need this right now. Eventually you find as more rockets get built and taken off, you're going to get debris. You're dropping this shit as you're taking off. Multiple stages. You're discarding the stuff you don't need to lighten the weight of the aircraft, spacecraft. So you're going to get rid of it. It's going to collect. Clean it up once in a while. You don't really want it in impact once you're in orbit of a previously expended rocket or fuel cell. So we go back to the main menu. We go back to research and development. And hey, we've got 23 science. You can spot in the upper right hand corner. Okay, again, we've clicked on, that's the starter kit. We click on this. I don't know what the little 4 means. Okay, it's rocket science. No pun intended. Basic rocketry. How hard can it be? Hey, it needs 5 science. There is a prerequisite, and I'm going to get 4 items out of it. Boom. 4 items. Now, as I said earlier, you've got 3 different subtrees now. Okay? Like any good game, there's always going to be a tech tree. There's always going to be branches. I mean, what good's a tree with no branches? It's not called a tree. That's called a stick. So, options for next. You see they require 20 science. I think that's, oh no, not all of them. 18, 15. So survivability. Hey, look, it's an engine. Landing struts. Landing struts are always important. You want to land safe. You don't just want to thud down on your engine like we just did. Radial mount parachute, just a different style of parachute. It won't go on the cap. It goes on panels wherever you want to deploy them. Let's see what I actually want. Stability. Your SAS and your RCS that I enabled probably wouldn't have done a whole hell of a lot because I don't have anything to stabilize. You see that there's an aerodynamic nose cone. You put that on some of the other rockets that you need. This part is really sharp. You probably heard it fell on it. Well, yeah, okay. Well, it's a nipple for a rocket. You'll see they're all rated. Total mass, drag, max temperature. These will factor in. Okay, drag slows you down. It's drag. If you put your hand out of a car window when you're driving down the highway, you'll feel the force. That is drag from your hand. If you close your fingers, point their fingertips towards where you're going, it's smoother. It doesn't push as hard. You are reducing the drag of your hand while you're driving, or passenger, whatever. That's the principles of drag. Very simple. Total mass, it's mass. The more stuff you put on something, the heavier it gets. The heavier it gets, or the more weight on an item, takes more thrust, which I'm sure is going to be a rating on one of the rockets. Max power. Does it actually say thrust? Say anywhere? No. So it'll be your max power. Requires more thrust to get to the same speed. If my rocket weighed 1.5 of whatever, like you see in this engine, and I can get to a certain power, a certain speed at the 200 max power, if I have twice the mass, I'm going to get half the power out of it. I'm not going to go as fast, or it's going to take more fuel. Alright, so general rocketry, you see we've got the engine, we've got a Sepratron, which, if you read the description, it's a small rocket. There's not a lot of power, you can tell that from the next block. Okay, it's solid fuel, which means you cannot control the thrust, which we did show when doing that quick little landing. Okay, there's not much fuel in it, and it does say that it's good for pushing stuff away. Okay, again, assists with separation of items when you're doing whatever. There's other items that do that. We won't get into it right now. Next item, okay, it's a large rocket. Okay, solid fuel. We'll get into that after also. So what did we get? We got a larger fuel tank, a smaller fuel tank, mystery goo containment unit. Okay, this will actually help us build science. And a stack decoupler, which is to aid in the separation of stages. Do we want to spend money on this? What is that? That's the landing. Parachutes, not so much. Stability. Radial decoupler. Okay, this I actually want. We need 18 science. We got 18 science. Boom. We got it. Okay, hey look, 2 more trees. We'll look at those now. General construction. Again, the cost is going to keep going up. 45 science. Got none, just spend it all. Okay, strut connector. Again, it's a structural item. We'll get into it after, but in a nutshell, it helps keep stuff from shaking apart when there's force applied to it. Launch stability enhancer. It's the big framework that keeps your rocket steady before launch. The radial decoupler. I'll show you what the decoupler does because we did just get one, the smaller one. And the stack tri-coupler, which basically lets you stack 3 rockets on one spot. Flight controls. Hey, winglets, movable wings. A new cockpit. An unmanned cockpit, which, as I learned on my last mission, or my other save game, you cannot use it to get a whole lot of science. You don't get the research. There's nobody to gather it. Kind of sucks. And an inline reaction wheel, which I'm sure is going to be, yeah, it's your SAS, your stability augmentation. So, helps you regain your control. You see, down in the big window in the middle, it does require electric power, which we're going to get into later. Okay, so back out, go back into the rocket screen. Hey, look, our rocket is still here. We have more stuff. Pods are still the same, propulsion. We have those other fuel tanks that got unlocked, the small one and the big one. And is this the one we had? This is the one we had. Control, we still have nothing structural. We have the radial decoupler and the stack decoupler. I'm going to use both of those, and I'll show you what they do. Okay, we have winglets, we have the nose cones, we still have our parachute, we have the mystery goo containment. Throw that on, you'll see why after. Okay, so, hey look, it's starting to look pretty. Let's see, what can I do with this one? That's a gas tank and an engine. Yeah, I'm going to create another stage. I'll explain that in a minute. I'm going to apply a stack decoupler to the bottom end of that rocket. Bear in mind, when you're making your stages only activate when you press space. So, with the stack decoupler, it's not until I press space that the stack decoupler will activate, or the way it's set up by this now, that engine will only activate when I tell it to. I'm actually going to be separating those. So that, I'm going to have an engine, stage 3. I will have a stack decoupler, which you'll see what happens when I activate it, when we launch. In a nutshell, it blows the bottom end. Okay, then I'm going to have space as a next stage to activate that little engine. And then, of course, my final stage is going to be my parachute and my pod. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Let's throw, because I actually did want to throw a couple fuel tanks in there. Grab some fuel tanks. Hey, look, has this looking like a little bit more of a rocket? Hey, groovy. Now, we're decoupler. However, one thing I haven't done yet, that we haven't talked about yet, are these. The symmetry mode and the angle snap. You notice this is just a nice smooth pan. Apparently it is snapping into some places, or maybe it just looked that way. Anyway, I like using angle snap. It gives me, what, 6 points? I think 1, 2, 3, 6, yeah. And symmetry mode, you'll see that. No, it'll do it. Hey, I'm on 2 symmetry. Oh, wait, what, 3? You see them there on the bottom left? They're mirrored. 4? 5? Holy crap. Not that I have any idea what you would use 5 for. I'm sure somebody has, and I'm sure that's 8. Holy crap, that would be a whole lot of connection. Or go back to 1. I'm not going to need to do much with it. Make sure I've got it lined up. Throw those there. Okay. So you can see as I hold my right mouse button. Look at that. Okay, there's my rocket. I've got my goo cylinder up there, which is actually used for research. My stack decouplers, or the radial decouplers at the side. You'll see that they have their own stage here. Let's kick another stage. What we're going to do is we're going to attach those engines to the decouplers. Okay, look at that. Now, over to aerodynamic nose cones. Hey, look, now we have less drag. Put a nose cone on it. Actually, let's go drag. Hey, it's a 0.3. And what was the nose cone? 0.1, 0.01? Yeah, 0.1. So we've actually reduced the drag of that engine now because we've helped guide it. Again, the parachute, the rocket, the decouplers, they probably have a slight drag factor. Yeah, they have a little bit of a drag. Total mass. I don't know if there's actually any way to see the total mass of a rocket. Action groups, parts, crew. No, doesn't seem there is. I think they put that in. Okay, so we have a basic rocket. We've got 2 big engines, 2 smaller engines. Again, they covered it up when we attached the radial decoupler, right? So it's still there. Boom, boom, done, whatever. We haven't used the girders, aerodynamics. Well, let's throw some aerodynamics on it. Look at that. It's going to help us, as you can well imagine, go straight. Okay, we're just going to leave it on those so that when we kick it on, we're going to try and go straight up. And we don't have a lot of control at this point. So we still have our antenna from the previous, and we have our goo package, and that's the sub-assemblies. We don't need them. Okay, we go back on crew, you see, hey, we've got Jeb Kerman again. Did his stupidity actually go down? I don't know. I don't know if he's getting smarter or not. Okay, first Twitch rocket. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to call it Twitch rocket from here on in. But we're going to keep the name. Save. Okay. Now we can go into stages. First stage, or 4th stage, first activated stage, is number 4. You'll see it activates green rockets. They're lighting up as I mouse over. Again, if I mouse over the engine, you can also see what piece. Stage 2 is the decouplers for anything highlighted. So I activate those decouplers right there. I wonder if I can zoom. Let's see if I can zoom that. Yeah. Holding shift, there's the decoupler. See that I've highlighted it. It lights up in the yellow, or in the white, at stage 3 on the right side. It also highlights the engine, saying, hey, when you activate the stage, this engine is going away. So I'm actually going to... Well, I have to leave those separate. What you can do... see, now this would have been a major flaw. I'd activate the engines, separate them, press space one more time, and it would actually activate that engine and then separate it instantly. Stage 2, that would be a fail, a big fail. So we're going engines, blow them off. Second engine, separate it when it runs out of fuel, because the fuel tanks are above it. There's the decoupler there, the stage 2 decoupler. So anything beneath it is going to get blown out. The following stage is going to be the little engine in there and the fuel tank. Ideally, if this goes really, really well, I don't think I've got enough juice for it, but if this goes really, really well, it might get us into orbit, and this last engine is actually going to get us out of orbit. Okay, and then of course parachute and the command pod. Save. We're going to go right to the launch window. Alright, and there is our rocket. It's a little wiggly. We're going to hit the stability stuff with RNT. You'll see that it's actually very slowly bleeding through. We're not going to use that then. Okay, so what all these... This is going to fall over. Alright, I'm going to go full power and just get this thing out of here before it falls, which would be really, really, really funny. So I'm going to kick those in. Now, right click. It's mystery goo. Click onto mystery goo. I'll show you the description. Kerbal liquids. So it's worth 7.4%. I don't think there's a direction. Boom! Linear decouplers. So they're gone. There's the next liquid rocket. Throw that down past the planning on getting into orbit. See our altitude, vertical speed, 8,000 meters above sea level, ground level. AGL is the technical term for that. 10,000. So I'm going to turn off the stability, throttle down, because this is the next step of getting into orbit. Kick on there, give us a little rotation, because we actually want to angle over to the east. Got a little juice, I did kind of cheat when I started doing this. I started playing after many, many, many failed attempts. I went to a small tutorial. It's basically you want to get to 10,000. Actually, the tutorial, the first one I found said 7, but then it did say popular one says 10. I'm actually going to be really screwing this up. 10, then angle 45, then press M. This gets us into our satellite view. I'm going to click on. Oh, did I just run out of juice? No, I did not. Stage only. What is that stage? Good. Through the load. I might be tapping off. Yes. Anyway, we'll slow that down. Then what they said to do is you want to watch for your apoapsis, and once that gets to 70,000 meters, which I'm presuming is just the distance, we can increase the speed by increasing my speed. I think I just ran out of gas. Yeah, so we're going to blow that one. Okay, we wanted to maintain that 45-degree angle is the principle behind it. I don't think I activated this next stage, did I? There's the stage active. Slow, 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 slow. Okay. Okay, so I'm actually going to start angling towards the horizon. Get over there. Holy crap, this is being really difficult. This is the worst takeoff ever. Boom. Out of gas anyway. Okay, I didn't bother putting a separation on it. whatever. I hadn't planned on getting into space. This is actually a lot further than I planned on. We'll observe the mystery goo. Again, it's worth 40% of 7 from upper atmosphere. It is getting very cold. Blast it out. We don't have a whole lot of juice. Yeah, we didn't have enough juice. We're going to do a crew report. I'm just going to save it since we can't transmit. We don't have any way of generating power right now. And we're going to do a quick EVA. Okay, it's 5.6, half, keep data, board the ship. Now, I'm actually going to turn off the antenna by right-clicking, aborting the transmission. I'm just going to see if it needs me to observe it again. Yeah, so we're actually going to keep that. Crew report. Crew report is good. So all the research that I can be doing at this point is done. Alright, we are at upper atmosphere, and you can follow the blue line, which shows that we are going to splash down in the darkness. Let's see if we can get some light on that. In the water. Alright, not much help. And it's not very exciting. So, what the game designers have done... Oh, I'm going to turn off those, since I have no power and those are no good. Anyway, that was the stability control and the roll control. Turn those off. For anybody happen to be picking this up partway through, I am not a very good player at the Kerbal Space Program. This is the second real rocket I've ever created. So it's swinging around on me. It's going to do its thing. I'm going to show you the time compression since, you know, we're going to be forever landing. Or, well, I'll call it crashing. Let's call a spade a spade. The greater than and less than, or the comma and period keys on your keyboard. If you use the one to the right, you accelerate your time. Okay, there's your warning. Using physics warp can blast stuff off if you go too fast. We don't have anything out there that's going to make a huge difference, so we're going to kick that up into the ×4. It's going to do its float. You see we're at 30,000 meters. It's doing its thing. We're crashing. Very controlled. Hey, look, we are entering the atmosphere. According to one thing I read, the overheating hasn't actually been factored in yet. Presumably when you're getting the speed, and you can see that we do have quite a speed of 500 meters per second. You know, this can all be affected. We're at 8,000. Warp a little faster. 6, 5, 4, 3. I'm going to slow it down. We're going to hit space and pop the parachute. Hey! There's the parachute. Creates a whole lot of drag. Interesting thing, I can right-click the parachute and cut it. I don't want to do that because I want to keep all the work that I just did. So we're coming down. We're at 100 meters a second, which is still really, really fast. The parachute just deployed. If you noticed, if you heard it, it goes poof. And we slow down to a 10.2. 10.2 because, why? We increased the mass when we added the goo thing. So because we're heavier, we're slowing down faster, or less, slowing down less. Again, we're at 160. I'm going to jack that up just a little bit. This is where you can actually see the physics warp break stuff. If I accelerate it too much, there is a chance the parachute will snap by itself, and that is actually bye. So we've done a halfway soft landing, which you can see broke the goo pod off. The parachute is separated. Command pod's intact, and Jeb Kerbal is saying, hey! Again, we're at half throttle. We hit escape. We can't. Press X. Go back to the Space Center, where we're going to go into the tracking window. We'll go into the tracking window. There's the Twitch rocket. You can see it landed somewhere over the water. We're going to recover, and we've got 3.5 science, 5.5 science, and 0.8 science, giving us a total of 9.9 total collected on that mission, and 16 science gathered for progress. Again, you see where I said there's debris gathers. What is the debris? Well, it's the Twitch rocket debris. What Twitch rocket debris? What did we leave behind? We recovered everything. Well, what we left behind is the goo pod. Not what I was expecting, actually. So we're going to go back to the Space Center. I actually expected those 2 rockets on the sides. There's the debris. Recover the debris. Oh, hey, we earned science from it. Interesting. I didn't see that coming. We got a 10 science out of it, data value 0.6, and a 5.8, bringing us to 22 science. I guess those rocket motors didn't do anything. Alright, we're going to go into research and development. What do we have? We've got 15, so we can get survivability with the landing struts, the parachutes, the other engine. We could go into general rocketry and get the other engine with the Sepratron or the solid fuel booster. What if we didn't want to? What if we wanted flight control? Okay, yeah, not so much. Trying to remember where I got other science from. It wasn't general rocketry. I thought it was in here. Oh, can't actually take that anyway because it does want the survivability. So let's take survivability. So, what did we get? We got a smaller engine, which was really just a landing engine. Low power, liquid fuel, probably doesn't use off fuel. We get the landing struts. Hey, we can deploy your landing struts. And we get a different style parachute, which does it actually say? Oh, it does actually give us a drag factor. Deploy altitude, minimum air pressure. Interesting. Which gives us the flight control, and click Science Tech. Science Tech gives us a rechargeable battery pack, which is convenient. Hey, we can add 100 to our electric power capacity. It also gives us the SC9001 Science Junior, which is another thing like the goo pod, but it's bigger and does other stuff. More science. And a communications pad. This is what I was looking for. This is what I want to unlock next. Once we get the 45 science that we require. Go back to live. Just refresh the Twitch feed in the browser window. Are you still there? Am I still here? Viewers, it's showing me as offline. Why is it showing me offline? Maybe it's just because that ad. Oh, okay. It does show you as a viewer still. Go ahead, ask questions. I'm going to go back out. See if we can renovate the rocket. Oh, did not load. So we're going to start from scratch. Got that. Add my parachute. There's utility, there's the goo, there's the Combotron. We do want communications. Communications are important. Put that right by there. The mystery goo will attach at a later time. Sub-assemblies. Mount the rocket. way we separate the rocket, giving us less weight that the parachute has to handle. Okay, we're going to throw another one of those in. Because that's really just the landing. That's landing. The landing struts at a later time. Fuck it. Let's see this parachute deployed. Semi-deployed drag 1. Well, so really the parachute doesn't make a difference. I can add more of those. So you know, if I get a heavy rocket, I can throw 2 of those in. Gives me much higher drag. That's convenient. Science. Is that this fuel tank? No, add to the fuel tank. Let's add it the other way. Oh my god. How did he do that? Okay, so I clicked on it. I use W. Put it back. S. A and D. Whoa. We can reposition any way we want. My god, look at that. And then you can get rid of it by clicking it off into the gray area, as we've already got one. Propulsion. Alright, so we've got the engine behind this little pod here. We're going to add a couple more fuel tanks because we want to get places. We'll add 3 fuel tanks. Let's try something funny. So we got the little engine there. We're going to add the big engine here. We're going to add more. Add the separation. Up. Add it to the bottom. Oh! Yes, I should probably mention that. You may or may not notice there's green stuff. Those are connection points. See, there's a green ball there. There's a green ball there. Put the green balls together. Boom. They attach. Alright, so we're going to go over to structural. Engage the symmetry mode. Oh, hey, get back in there. Sometimes I've noticed that happens. Don't know why. We're going to add little big engines. The big engines are go. Again, this is going to create some stability issues. Do a little wobble. Let's bring these down. Nope, it's not going to make a difference. They are not long enough. All I really want is set them up so they are beneath. Yeah. So they're actually, the bottom level of those are actually below the center engine. Stand on 2 legs, not one. Right? Right. Okay, it's off center, but it's a rocket. That there. That there. Okay, those don't really matter because, you know, it's a rocket. It's a tube. It's a flying tube. So that's going to do its thing. Sides, since that's the rocket anyway, that's going to separate at that stage. Okay, so we're going to review the stages. We've got rockets 1 and 2. Those are going to separate. It's going to activate the next rocket. Hey, let's do something unusual. And we'll combine them. So those 2 run out of gas, they blow off, the second rocket ignites, leaving those 2 well behind. Then we separate it, which loses our wings by design. Okay with that. And we control the next rocket. That sure, we'll combine them, why not? Our next stage will separate that middle rocket here. Okay, I'm going to keep the little rocket, which I'm going to call our lander rocket, or our re-entry rocket, for the end. And then if I want to separate it, I can activate the parachute, or I can just right-click and activate that parachute after. Twitch Rocket Mark 2. Okay, so that's our basic. We're gonna go a launch. We're going to get some research done while we're up there. Get some research done on the ground before we get up there. Whew, look at that pretty tall rocket. You'll see that now that we're sitting on those two bottom engines, we are not wobbling all over the place. You see we have our control. I'll turn off the gears. That'll make more sense later on with the landing struts. What that is, it's just a quick deployment. I don't know if it probably controls other items, but the landing struts, I've always attached 3. And they don't all deploy at the same time if you right-click them, like you've seen me do on the other items. So I click that activates all of them all at the same time. Presumably, if I have other things, it's going to activate everything. Brakes, I don't know what the brakes are. Lights are obvious. I don't have any installed. Okay, so we've throttled up. Let's check the goo, get some free science. 40%. Okay, we're going to do a crew report. Do that. And we didn't actually install that other piece, so we're good. Click on resources, stage only. That was messing me up last time, I don't know why. Oh, hey, I missed the caps. Why not? Let's do a test. Okay, I'm going to leave those off because, as you remember, those had a 0.3 drag and the caps gave a 0.1 drag. So we're going to see what happens. There is a chance, I don't know if it could happen, it might, that they're just going to fall off. The drag, no, that's where the propulsion's coming from. So no, that won't happen. We just won't see the speed. So we'll launch like this, then I'll put the caps on, we'll launch it the other way and see what happens. Oh yeah, that's one more thing. Get it there, EVA report, send board. Stored data, send, right click. Okay, we're good to go. Roll and yaw. Oh, this is done. Killing juice. We're going to call this an abort. Eject. Well. Yeah. Eject that too. We're going to nose up. Juice. Kill it. I'm going to activate this parachute manually. Okay, that is what I will call an extremely failed launch. You can see the other parts are gonna, I wonder if they explode. They might. Kaboom. 200 from me. We're almost at 500 for deploying the parachute. Parachute blows. They hit the wall. I'm just going to engage a little thrust. Slow us down. Oh, that is giving us power. Well, fine. So I'm going to kill that. Is it being a dick? Fuck it. Done. Kill power. Fuck it. Eject it. Did I actually have any research? Crew report. Save it. EVA. Huh. I never did that in my last one. That's interesting. Save that. We'll go back in. Throttle down. Escape. Space Center. I've never taken a water sample. That's a good to know item. Okay, so we're going to go in. Twitch Rocket 2. Recover. Look at all the science we got. 17.3. We have debris. We're going to recover that. It was just parts. Stuff. No other numbers across the top, so that was everything. He is not swimming. Well, actually, we probably would have thrown a boat. Research and development. We didn't really earn enough. I could take general rocketry. It's got the big solid rocket. It's got the Sepratron, but I really want to try and save up for this little science tech. So 45. We got 26. We do have enough equipment to get into some serious research. Alright, now I did say that I was going to throw some nose cones on that. I don't think that's going to help the failed launch. And frankly, I didn't notice how fast we were going without it. This may or may not affect it. It would be very cool if it did. Okay, so we go up. Mystery goo container. Hey, look, from the launch pad. It's not really worth much. Crew report. It's not worth much. EVA isn't going to be worth much. It's not too bad. 3.7. Save it up. And refuse stored data. Send. Review report. Send. Review data. Send. Okay. Which burned through all our... Oh, I should have added batteries. Alright, so we again engage pitch and roll. Rocket. Guys, I didn't notice it. Actually advocate side that does do a switch off. Switch off. You can't do is separate the side from boosters because they would run through. Separated those while they were moving, which collided with the airfoil, throwing off the balance. Pop the parachute, and we're gonna go in there. Oh shit. Oh, poor Jeb. You're screwed. I wonder what his crew report says. Precarious is right. Oh, this is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. Puh! You're an impact crater. There goes all the parts. It's a good thing I had more people. See, liquid engine, fuel engine collided into... Oh. Oh. Wrong way. Okay, so went on EVA, liftoff, separation of stage 6 confirmed, which was the main rocket. The winglet collided into the booster, or the other way around. Okay, which caused an impact. The radial decoupler collided into the fuel tank, which blew that. The fuel tank connected to the booster. The stack coupler collided to the booster. Are you noticing a trend? Basically, it compressed my rocket. Liquid engine was damaged by engine. Exhaust from the solid booster. You could burn stuff. Fuel tank was damaged by the engine. Exhaust. Okay. Then I went on EVA. Fell. Okay. It fell when I crashed into the terrain. Then the mystery goo containment unit collided at the same time. The fuel tank collided into the surface, and the engine collided into the surface. We're going to back that up 2 minutes ago. Let's go into there. Reattach that. Should we put a cap on the bottom? Shits and giggles wants me to do that, but that would be inefficient. Alright, so now that that's capped, we can go on that again. No new viewers, really? Alright, so we're going to engage the stability controls. We're going to check rocket, separate, next rocket, separate, little rocket, separate, parachute. Mystery goo containment. Bam. Crew report. Bam. EVA. Report. Rejoin. Okay, we're out of electric power, which we're going to generate. And rocket. This is not stable. Hey, there was the solid fuel disconnect. This one, liquid fuel. I think it actually has a lot of control. Notice at the top of the screen, it's actually generating power to start doing science. Well, there. Scroll in. 26. Pop that. Engages the next rocket. A little more control. Alright, so what did that do? I noticed that was accelerating rapidly. Okay, it's pushing us out. There's the 70. Kill that. Now it wants us to aim for the horizon. This is based on the tutorial, which had been working for me in the past. I don't know why I can't fly a rocket to save my life right now. So you'll see the green is actually where we're drifting. That's our inertial level. And the brown is actually where I'm pointed. So connect that. Scroll out. Not even close to even being halfway around the planet. And there goes juice. Check that engine. Let's see if we can get into it. See if we can get a rotation into this. closer. Notice on the map, we're getting there, getting there, getting there. Pop! Hey, look at this. We are in orbit. The blue line completely circles the planet. It's not a perfect orbit. You'll see from above. But we're in orbit. Congratulations. I didn't think it was going to happen on this mission. Kill the stability augmentation. Now, we can go back out. Go back in. And we still have half, just less than half of our fuel. What was that, closer to a third? Okay, so that is enough to get us burnt back in, hopefully. However, while we're out here, traveling at 2,300 meters per second and slowing, which is nice. We can observe our mystery goo. Okay, the glue has been clumped into a sphere. Now's a great time actually to promote Commander Hadfield, Chris Hadfield, Canadian astronaut who just came back from the International Space Station. Some of his YouTube channels show some pretty interesting experiments that he did up at the space station, and they ended up being pretty freaking cool. I liked it. Not the least of which was some of his playing with water. I'm checking off the stage only to check my electrical charge because the goo's not going to change. Nothing's going to change at this point with the goo, so I'm actually going to file it. We're going to do a crew report. Okay, so it's worth a 5 because we're in space. We're going to file that. We're going to go on an EVA. Okay, it's worth 8 at 50%, so it's worth 4. Let's save that too. Turn those off. Okay, go back out. Now we do have minor controls. Every pod has a touch of little controls. I can modify my pitch, my roll. You'll notice it does burn some power. Okay. Just stabilize that. Again, my roll around the pitch of the aircraft. There's my rotation. You notice the artificial horizon. We're not changing our direction. We're just pivoting around it. So we'll correct that. Press T. Okay. I tap D, and that's starting to spin us. So that's our, well, that's the closest thing to a yaw, actually, rather than the roll. Oh, it is the yaw. You see it in the bottom left corner of the screen. Let's stabilize that. W is taking us the other way. Okay. You'll also notice on the artificial horizon, we've got the green arrows. Okay, that's behind us. You can kind of tell a little bit that we're flying that way, away, we'll call it opposite the sun. So, east. I mean, we deployed east. We're generally heading east. You can see on the external map we're actually going to be getting eclipsed by the planet very soon. It's going to get very dark. Further on down the tech tree you can get into solar panels which help generate electric charge only when they're facing the sun. The first ones you get are fixed position panels. I mount them on my pod for the electric power, and you can position your pod's panels to face the sun and generate electricity. I usually do a 3-panel deployment. I'm starting to realize there's not much of a point because the other 2 panels really don't catch the sun the way the first one was. If I get it a perfect deployment, if I were to do more, I'd capture more sun, which would generate more electricity. If I do one, it's less mass, so it would actually do less of that anyway. So, I mean, it's a balance that you get into with this game. So let's, we'll go out to the map screen. It's not doing anything, there's nothing going on. Actually, you know what I will do? Review data. Well, let's just blast some of this out. Bump, bump, bump. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So it blasted out most of the transmission. Observe mystery goo. And we'll file that. We'll go back out to the map. I'm going to gauge some time compression. You'll notice that when we're in space, there's actually an altitude limit to this. I forget the number offhand. It's going to tell us shortly. But we've got a lot more time warp. Okay, so we're doing the full circuit. Da, da, da. Hey, look at that. We've come around. Hey, and we're close. So it actually, we've gotten to an altitude that it's kicked us back down to the 4 times because we're that close to the surface. Again, over the ocean. You can see we've got, I wonder if I should try and land there. That would be cool. That would never happen. I would never be able to pull that off. Alright, so here we are. We've more or less done a full spin around the planet. The launch pad. Where's the launch pad? It was up here, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm going to have to set a flag so I can tell. Oh no, it was... Yikes. It was here. Yeah, it was somewhere in this area here, I think. So I'll do another loop. We'll get into another orbit. And then when we come around, hey, oh, we are landing. I guess I was close enough that it's not gonna like me. I don't know if that's a game glitch or not. Let's see if we can get some north. Bird take us into that island ring. That would be very cool. Oh. Kill thrust. I'll let it do its thing while it's doing the atmosphere thing, because that's going to provide drag. Da da da. Really just want to, you know, all right, enough of that. I've got no control over this anyway. Not gonna make it to the island. Alright, well, I guess we're not pulling that one off. Wait, we're still slowing down. So the parachute, I'm not sure if you noticed on the equipment screen, the parachute actually deploys at 500 meters. So I'm in no rush to deploy it. I'm going to keep the engine attached, and I'm going to do a manual deployment. I wonder if I can no, I can't right-click it there. So I'm going to wait till I get down to 1,000 and just it. Okay, there's our 1000. Deploy parachute. Let's go. Yeah, expand. And you can see that we're a little lighter, so we've got enough enough surface. Lock gimbal. Okay, this engine does not generate power, but it will be enough to slow us down once we get closer to the ground. And I'll start that at 100 meters above sea level. Okay, a little bit of thrust. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. 7, 6, 5. Whoa. Oh, bounce. I was not watching the altitude. Oh. I didn't expect that to happen either. Let's do an EVA report. Yay, take a surface sample. Taking a sample of water. Jesus. And an EVA report. And we'll climb back in the spaceship. Get in there. Huh. Oh, the overwhelming temptation to try and swim to that spot. Alright, so we did get back in. Alright, kill throttle. Go back to the Space Center. I want to land on that island. I really do. I want to plant a flag there. Let's see. Holy crap, I did it. Alright, so we'll go to debris. Okay, recover, debris, recover, data gathered, a little bit of science. There's our pod, recover, lot, holy shit, really? That's, why? Maybe if I file them, it keeps them stored so when I recover. I always thought it erased it. Huh. Anyway, it's a beautiful, almost 42 science, earning up to a total of 80. I couldn't be much happier with that, unless I had landed on that. What looks to be, just looking at that structure, that would actually be a volcano. Big freaking volcano. Alright, so we go to science. Did we earn enough? We earned plenty. Plenty. Awesome. So that gets the Science Junior. I can't actually use any of that. Landing. We're not going to worry about landing. Space exploration. Comes with a ladder and a thermometer. Electrics gives us the rechargeable battery pack at 90 science. This is what I was talking about earlier. Lights, the solar panel, and a bigger battery pack, which also wants flight control. So we might as well kick in flight control after. Damn, that's too bad. Alright, so we're back out of that. This is slowly turning into doing a better job than my original game. Yeah, let's go use some of the new toys. Okay, new rocket. Utility. Parachute. Get some science. There's that experiment pod. Mount the goo cylinder on that. There's our comms panel. Let's throw the comms panel right there. So that's actually, that benefits anyway. Just wondering if, let's do that. 3 parachutes instead of 1. So that'll slow us down pretty good. Throw a couple battery packs on there. So again, those are rechargeable battery packs. Those will self-charge as engines are running. We got the comm panel up. Throw some legs on there. 4, 3. That's not gonna work. 4. That's not gonna work either. Fuck it, you don't need legs. You know, I could just put a nose cone on there. Oh, that'd be huge. No. Get up there. Alright, so I'll throw a decoupler on. Throw a 200 level fuel tank and a motor. And another decoupler. Oh, there it is, another decoupler. Throw a couple big tanks. One big tank with the motor. Then throw that there. Radial decouplers. And throw the solid booster on. This is probably going to make us way heavier than we need to be. Alright. Yeah, let's these on those engines. Some wings on these engines. Wings on these engines. Huh. That does look kind of funky. So let's review. We want the solid engines going, then those are going to blow, taking those engines. We're going to activate the secondary engines. Those are going to blow and activate the primary engine. That's going to blow, giving us our lander engine, blow, parachute, pod. This is probably way too much rocket for all these engines. Anyway, that's what happens. So, here's a good introduction to center of mass. Okay, as you put stuff on, you're going to weigh down your aircraft in a certain method. And you can tell, just as the way we're circling, where the center is. Thankfully, we've done it symmetrically. So, the center stayed in the middle. Center of lift, where's all the lift generated? Well, lift's generated low. Not sure how that's going to factor in, whether the wings make the big difference there. I think if you put your airfoil closer to your center, no, it would be center of thrust, I think. Yeah, the closer to the center of the thrust is going to give you better control. And then in which direction. Anyway, to people that are smarter than me, it's going to make more help. Twitch. Rocket Mark III. keeping track, we have actually increased the science gathering. Okay, we're on the launch pad. Those two engines have actually stabilized it really well. You can see our resources. Those extra battery packs have helped. Which is really funny because I think I've just realized that I don't need the battery pack as long as I keep storing it. We're going to open up the mystery goo. Keep it. This is the materials bay. This is this new item that we got, which basically just adds more science. We're on the launch pad. It's only worth 20%. We're going to file it. We're going to do a crew report and file it. We're going to do an EVA and file it. And we're going to board. Maybe we can't. I'll just send it all anyway. Might have to do some more reading about this. Okay, so that was all the data gathered. Review report, 100% there. So you'll see, it's opening up, blah, 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 communicate with ground control, added 1.5 science, not enough charge to do whatever else it's trying to do. Alright, so we're going to engage that and that. Look at him, he's excited. Disconnect those. Let's just oops. Fine. Anyway, none of that worked out. None of it. None of it. It's just somewhere helpful. All this is extra science, so it doesn't hurt. There goes pictures. So that's a pretty shitty deployment. Activate parachutes. Turn off the stability stuff. Oh, that's not good. Alright, we're going to cut that parachute because it's actually dragging us upside down. Nothing quite like crashing on your nose. And the one parachute is actually pretty good for saving us anyway. Yeah, so an 8.5 meters per second speed is more than fine. Okay. Actually, I'm going to keep that down to a low speed. And then I'm going to call it a clip. That'll be it. Done. For now. I do enjoy it. Oh! Oh, the materials bay exploded. guess it's time for legs. Recover. Exploded. For nothing. Lots of debris. Recover. 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 Really? No science? Crap. Alright, so that's going to be that for that. I think this might actually take over as my main thing, or maybe I'll start over from scratch. My other game wasn't doing incredibly hot anyway. I had a lot more done. You can see, I'll load this up real quick. Resume saved. Me. It's the end of my research and development. I actually branched out and did a lot more trees, even though what I really wanted was some of the lower stuff, which I probably could have gotten into advanced electrics at this point. Advanced exploration, self-deploying. A barometer. Mobility enhancer. Oh, a ladder. Yeah, so maybe what I'm gonna do, maybe I'll kill this session. So basically what I need to build south, all the way to the electrics. I liked the electrics. So that's what I'm gonna do for the next feed. So if it does look like I've cheated, so to speak, I haven't cheated by downloading anything, but I am going to play a little offline, get to where the Twitch account that you just saw is. I'm going to delete my other exploration. Resume save. Delete. So I'm going to delete the Twitch one right now, and then I'm going to focus all my research for the next feed. So there'll be a little bit of gaming in between there. You can always monitor my gaming time. If you want to take a little stalking step towards me, you can check out what I'm playing on my Raptor profile. If you haven't checked out Raptor, I think I've got a link to it on my main profile and channel. And if you haven't, you should. If you're a gamer like me, it's got a lot of fun things, fun stuff that you can do with it. I've used it a lot. You can see what's playing, how much time. You can take screenshots. They've now built in Twitch as a feed, as part of the game now, or as part of the interface. And yeah, it's really, I really recommend it. So I want to thank you for tuning in, and if you're looking at this as an archive video or on my YouTube page, thanks for checking me out. Please leave some feedback. I do aim to stream games as I'm playing them, but if I don't hear anything, I can't stream what you want. Every once in a while I will pick up a new game on Steam and I will play it there. I'm also involved with a couple MMOs, War Thunder for the flight simulation. I'm playing EVE Online, which it really isn't that exciting. I'll only stream that if somebody's curious, and I'd be more than happy to do that. And some World of Tanks from time to time, especially with the new patch coming out. I will be firing up the new 8.9 patch for World of Tanks and checking out some of the new German tanks. Again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me via the links that I've provided on my main page. And this is Prototype signing